Now, not to state the obvious here, but our city has seen, let's call it, a lot of protests during the last year. Some have been peaceful, while others have turned into riots with multiple arrests and broken windows and tear gas. And I don't have to remind you about last summer. Those protests often had a heavy police presence, and those officers were part of something the Portland Police Bureau calls the Rapid Response Team. But last night, that entire Rapid Response Team decided to resign. Now, this doesn't quite mean that they quit their jobs. They didn't. They're going to remain Portland police officers. But that team that responds to the protests and the riots essentially no longer exists now. About 50 cops were on this team, and they had specialized training in crowd control. PPB's acting police chief says 14 months of dealing with large groups of angry people on the streets night after night after night. The officers, frankly, are exhausted. But something else happened this week that tipped the scales. One of their own was indicted for assault. Corey Budworth, this is him in the video, a member of the Rapid Response Team, accused of hitting a woman in the head with a baton during a protest in August of last year. Budworth is accused of using unjustified and unlawful force against that woman, who is a freelance journalist who was covering the protest. The Rapid Response Team has taken a lot of heat over the past year for their tactics when those protests got violent. Portland City Commissioner Joanne Hardesty wanted the team to be eliminated in the past and some budget cuts prior to this last fall. Officers have been accused over and over of using too much force against people when they were trying to clear streets. We talked to Portland Police Lieutenant, one of them, last year. Maybe you saw it on the story. He said at the time that using what he called pain compliance is something and sometimes the best way to break up a dangerous situation.
So this is kind of a better way to catch their attention and say, hey, stop what you're doing. It's time to leave the area. The other thing is making it uncomfortable for people or trying to change their behavior through pain compliance. There's no way around it. But sometimes some simple pain compliance in terms of using a riot control agent will accomplish the goal of changing the behavior, stopping the dangerous thing that's happening without having to use other physical force that has a higher risk of injury.
So, Portland's acting chief, Chris Davis, said this morning that the indictment against Budworth was the last straw for those officers after what officers have been subjected to over the past year.
I think that really this is the culmination of a very long process, and it's not just an indictment that caused this to happen. I think this really has very deep roots and some really just, I don't even have the adjective for it, just really unbelievable things that they have been exposed to and subjected to over the last 14 months, particularly in the second half of 2020. And, I understand that those are very complex issues, but I also understand their perspective that, if you put a human being through what they were put through, that takes a toll.
And it's hard to argue that, okay? Officers have been through a lot, and not just in the past year. In the last decade, they've had 7 different police chiefs. Some of them have left for bigger cities. Some of them have been fired for things like criticizing the mayor or getting drunk and shooting a friend during a hunting trip. PPB is also under a DOJ investigation for excessive use of force and a pattern of killing people with mental illness. And nearly every time the DOJ checks in on that, PPB isn't doing very well with it. The Bureau is understaffed for a city this size, and they haven't been able to recruit enough new officers to replace the ones that are leaving. And they're now losing millions of dollars under the city's new proposed budget. Oh, yeah, and gun violence has increased exponentially in the last year. All of that on top of the riots.
When I had that explosive thrown at me, I saw it. I thought it was maybe just like a little firework or something like that, and I realized something was wrong. And I didn't, you see a flash, I didn't even see a flash, I just felt it. And it was hot, and I felt tingling in my fingertips. It was a very powerful blast. And to think that someone has that much anger and hatred, they don't even know someone, to throw something like that and just, not care. It's sad. It really is.
Now you might be thinking, okay, so this group of riot police quit. They're not going to show up. What if there was a riot tonight? Well, police say the officers who are normally on patrol would then respond to it, but that causes kind of a ripple effect because those officers aren't out on patrol, so there'd be a slower response to some calls in the city. We are also told, though, that the state police could step in if things truly get out of hand.